Hey guys, today I thought I'd talk about burnout and just how it impacts us every single day. I've just been reading so much about it that I thought it's a good topic to chat to everyone about, to see if you know the signs. Have you experienced it? Do you even know what happens when burnout occurs and why it occurs? So it's a severe stress condition, and it impacts our physical, our mental, and our emotional health. It's so bad that the World Health Organization has actually classified it as a medical diagnosis. It's classified under the international diseases. So that was really shocking and really interesting for me because so many people are experiencing it. So last year in Australia, 4 out of 5 people said that they experienced burnout when they were working from home. And so why is that? It's probably because when you work from home, you are working so much more, you're putting so much more in. What are the signs that you may be experiencing burnout? It's just when that professional efficiency is no longer there. You can't cope with the demand of your work, or that's how you feel. You feel like you're working so many hours and you're doing so much, but the work doesn't seem to be getting done. You also feel extremely exhausted, chronically fatigued almost. I'm tired all the time. When you have burnout, you don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to have social engagements. Like, you don't want to do anything that's not work related. Like, work becomes your focus, or that's how it was for me. I don't want to go anywhere. I had just so much to do, and I was doing it after hours, and I was doing it on the weekends. Just never seemed to finish. So you're isolating yourself. You become so impatient as well with yourself and with others. You become irritable with yourself, with your family, because you're just so busy and you just like feel like you can't get things done. And another thing that happens sometimes is conflict displacement. So you start blaming your colleagues, you blame your boss, you blame everyone else because you're under this pressure and you just don't understand why it's happening or what's happening. And so this can lead to illnesses or frequent illnesses. Feeling sometimes helpless, like, what's going on with me? Why am I not coping? But instead of looking at what's happening with you, you sometimes blame others. And so those are some of the signs that you can look out for. What are the causes? So the causes can often be your overtime has increased. There are so many deadlines and you're putting in more and more time without realizing that you don't have this work-life balance. There might be staff shortages, so the resources at work may be limited. And so you have to put in more hours, or you feel you have to put in more hours. Things like you are so committed, you feel like you're the only one that can finish the project. So you don't share the load. And usually the people that get burnout is that A-type personalities, those that want control over everything and who are perfectionists. So watch out for that, guys, because sometimes you're not even aware that you're going through this burnout because you want to control everything. You're not sharing the load, and nothing feels like it's right or that it's good enough. Sometimes it's not just you. It's like this overload of meetings. How many meetings can one person have a day? I used to feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm in meetings all the time, so then I don't have enough time to do my work, and then it ends up I'm doing my work that I'm supposed to do during the day, at night, or on the weekends. Or you get all this admin, loads of admin that just bogs your day. And then when there's vagueness around your tasks, so if you don't have clear direction on what you need to do, you start feeling like, what's wrong with me? Why don't I understand this? Is it me? But meanwhile, you're not getting clear directions. So your tasks are too vague. You need to clearly understand what management wants. If they don't know, how the heck are you gonna know, right? So I used to feel. So those are some of the causes, and this is just an intro, guys, so there's more. You research it. And the thing with burnout is, if you don't treat it, if you don't look after yourself with regards to this or get help, it can lead into those physical illnesses. So what they're seeing now is that people are getting heart disease, diabetes. It leads to psychological stress, so you can go into anxiety or depression. And often when I know I started getting some anxiety when I felt like, oh, I need to finish that task, I'm on deadline, why am I so behind? So you can wrap yourself into all the stress. And so those are some of the things that you need to understand. If you don't treat burnout, that's what can happen. It goes into this, you can go into like a dark and downward spiral if you are not aware. And so how do we prevent this, or how do we move ourselves into being more balanced, really looking after ourselves? So the first thing I'd say is talk to someone if you're feeling overwhelmed. Get clarity on your role. Understand what is expected of you. If they don't know, how are you gonna know? Because often if you feel like you don't know and you think everyone else knows, it messes with your confidence, and you don't want that. Rather get clarity. Even if you must ask 10 times, say, hey guys, I'm not clear, I'm the one doing the work, I need to be clear. So it's also really important to put those boundaries up and say, I have too much. When is this task or this job expected? What's the end date? And get clarity around that, so that you can pace yourself, and so that if you don't have enough time, bring in the resources. And it's important to tell management, because they also don't want you to drop the ball, or people are usually quite good and they to support you. So set your boundaries clearly. Then exercise, we know, have a break, go for a walk. Don't work the whole day. Don't get stuck in those meetings and not get out. Just clear your mind and eat a balanced meal. Often when we are on the run, when we are so busy, we grab any junk, and that's, I think, where the health diseases are coming in. They're talking about diabetes, heart disease. So if you're not eating properly, your sugar's dropping, and it can cause havoc with your body. And then self-care, take regular breaks, do yoga, meditation, anything that can reduce, or if you are a runner, go to gym, anything that can reduce that stress and and just help you cope. It's all coping mechanisms. And then go to bed early enough so you get a good number of hours of sleep, because often being tired and fatigued doesn't help that chronic fatigue that comes on. So this isn't chronic fatigue in that sense that we're talking about, but you feel chronically exhausted when you have burnout. And check your iron. That I found was also quite important. Make sure that physically you are okay, so that you know that you've got everything that you need to cope with stress. Because unfortunately, we all go through stress at work. It's just about how we manage it and how we look at stress, and turn it into a positive, instead of making us feel so overwhelmed and out of control and just down in the dumps, because that's what burnout does. It drags us down. We feel like we have no one to talk to. And then the last thing I'd really like to ask you to do is talk to people. Ask for help. If you don't feel like you can do it at work, talk to your spouse, your partner, a friend, just someone that can give you that, that support. And sometimes when you're in the situation, we look at it from a narrow perspective because we're in it, right? So we're in the detail. We need to move back and maybe look at it from a broader perspective. And if you can't do that for yourself, then get someone to help you. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for being here, Jenny. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Cheers.